All right, so today we're tackling Mergers and Acquisitions Analyst interviews, and we've got a whole stack of RoleCatcher's resources to guide us. From career guides to interview prep, we're going deep on how to nail this.
Yeah, this role, it's really a fascinating blend of skills you need, not just the finance stuff, though obviously that's key, but thinking strategically, navigating all the legal complexities, and, even the human side of these huge deals, the people impact.
Right, it's like part financial whiz, part strategist, part diplomat, almost. So let's get into some questions RoleCatcher flags in their interview guide. And I'll let the expert here chime in with how to really ace the answers. First up, the classic, how did you become interested in mergers and acquisitions?
Ah, yes. This is your chance to really show genuine passion, not just a canned response. So instead of the generic, I love finance, dig a little deeper. What specifically got you hooked? Was there a news story, a particular deal, a class you took, a mentor who inspired you, that kind of thing?
It's about finding that personal connection to make your story stand out. Don't be afraid to get specific, too. If a certain company's strategy fascinated you, talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
It shows you've actually been paying attention. You're not just someone who wandered into this field.
Exactly. And remember, interviewers, they love to follow up based on what you initially say. So if you do mention a deal, be ready to discuss it in detail. You know the drivers, the challenges, the outcome. That proves you've done your homework. You're genuinely interested in the nitty-gritty of M&A.
All right, next one. What do you think are the most important skills for an M&A analyst? This feels kind of like a trap right now. You want to show you've got it all, but where do you even start?
Yeah, it's about connecting your skills to what the role actually requires. RoleCatcher, they emphasize financial analysis, due diligence, valuation. Those are non-negotiables, but don't just list them off. Weave them into stories from your experience.
So not just saying, I'm good at financial modeling, but more like, I built this model and it uncovered X, which led to Y positive outcome. That paints a much clearer picture, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Plus, don't forget those softer skills: communication, negotiation, problem solving. Crucial in this world. So when talking about a deal, highlight how you collaborated, navigated tough talks, found solutions.
And that's where RoleCatcher's AI tools are really handy. You can analyze that specific job description and tailor answers to the skills they're after. They even have AI feedback on practice questions, so you can really refine things and get your confidence up.
It's like having a coach analyze the other team's playbook. You see what they're looking for, and you can adjust your game plan accordingly.
Okay, let's tackle one that might make some people sweat a bit. Can you walk me through your due diligence process for a potential acquisition?
Feels like a mouthful, but it's your chance to shine, really.
Right, don't panic. Think back to your experiences, whether it's past roles, internships, even case studies. Key is to be structured. Thorough RoleCatcher suggests a step-by-step approach, starting with preliminary research, then financial analysis, risk assessment, leading up to that final report. But don't just describe the process. Bring it to life. Did you ever find a hidden risk that saved your company from a bad deal during due diligence? Or maybe you spotted an opportunity others missed, leading to a more profitable acquisition.
Yeah, those are the stories that make you stand out. It shows you can not only follow the process, but actually think critically about the information you're given. And be ready for follow-ups. They might dig into specifics like how you assess a management team or red flags in financials.
So it's almost like preparing a mini presentation on your due diligence expertise, ready for any curveballs.
Exactly. And practice makes perfect. Use those AI tools, record yourself, get feedback on your delivery. The more comfortable you are with the material, the more confident you'll sound.
Okay, shifting gears a bit, let's look at one that goes beyond the numbers. How do you balance the needs of multiple stakeholders in an M&A deal? It's not just about crunching numbers. It's about understanding the human element, right?
For sure. You've got buyers, sellers, shareholders, employees, maybe even regulators, all with their own interests and priorities. Your answer needs to show you get this balancing act. Talk about communication skills, empathy, your ability to find those win-win solutions.
Almost like you're conducting an orchestra, making sure everyone's playing in harmony to reach the same goal.
I like that. And again, a concrete example is crucial. Maybe you mediated between parties with conflicting goals or addressed employee concerns during a merger. These stories show you can handle those complex relationships and find creative solutions that benefit everyone.
And they might ask, how do you handle conflicts? Or
Yeah.
how do you make sure everyone feels heard? So be ready to share those specific strategies and techniques you've used in the past.
And don't be afraid to showcase your emotional intelligence. M&A can be stressful, so showing you can stay calm, empathetic, and focused on solutions is a huge asset.
Okay, let's tackle another one that tests your analytical chops. How do you identify potential acquisition targets.
Hmm.
They want to see that strategic mindset, that deep understanding of the market.
This is where your research skills come in. Talk about the tools and methods you use. Industry research, financial analysis. Networking is key, but go further. Mention spotting trends and anticipating market shifts. Maybe you identified a company ripe for acquisition because of a new technology they were developing, or saw an opportunity to consolidate a fragmented market, something like that.
So it's not just the numbers, it's the bigger picture.
Yeah,
The landscape, the competition, the future growth.
absolutely. And mention specific industries you're knowledgeable about. It shows expertise, that you're not just a generalist, but someone who can deep dive into a specific market.
Be ready for those follow-ups too. What metrics do you look at when evaluating? Or how do you assess strategic fit? They want to see you go beyond the surface level, analyze the nuts and bolts.
And storytelling is key. Instead of just saying, I use reports and data, talk about a time you found a hidden gem, or when your research led to a successful acquisition.
It's about bringing your expertise to life with those compelling stories, showcasing your analytical skills, your strategic thinking, and your passion for this world of M&A.
Don't forget, RoleCatcher has career guides packed with insights on different industries and roles. Spend some time with the resources, get that deeper understanding of the landscape and the in-demand skills.
It's like a cheat sheet for your career, right? Plus, those AI tools help you personalize your prep, analyzing job descriptions, suggesting keywords, feedback on your answers. It's like a secret weapon you've got.
Definitely gives you an edge in this competitive market. Okay, so let's keep this momentum rolling. We're diving even deeper into those interview questions, the ones that can really make or break you when you're aiming for that M&A analyst position.
You're right, preparation is absolutely essential, especially for questions designed to test how you think on your feet. Not just what you know, but how you apply it. So let's look at one that's all about staying ahead of the curve. How do you stay up to date with trends and developments in the M&A market?
This one's all about showing your commitment to continuous learning, right? Because the M&A landscape, it's constantly evolving, so they want to know you're actively seeking new information.
It's like being a trend spotter, but for the world of corporate mergers and acquisitions, right? What resources or strategies would you suggest?
Well, think about the publications, the websites, even podcasts you rely on for industry news. But don't just mention them generically. Drop some names. Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, McKinsey reports. It shows you're tapped into those key channels.
Yeah, it's like saying, hey, I'm part of the M&A Insider Club.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just about passively consuming information, right? It's about actively engaging with it.
Exactly. Did a recent article on cross-border M&A spark your interest in a new market? Or maybe a podcast on SPACs changed your perspective on a certain trend? Sharing those insights proves you're not just skimming headlines, you're analyzing and forming your own opinions.
And networking, right? Conferences, professional organizations, even connecting with people on LinkedIn. Those are all great ways to stay informed and build relationships with others in the field.
Absolutely. M&A is very much a relationship-driven world. So yeah, build that strong network. It's invaluable. And remember, when you're talking about your sources, be ready with specific examples, like what recent trend caught your eye? What challenges or opportunities do you see emerging?
It's like saying, hey, I'm not just staying informed, I'm using that information to think strategically about the future. Okay, let's tackle one that tests your ability to handle complexity. How do you manage due diligence in a complex or international transaction?
This one, it's all about showing how you adapt and solve problems. Complex transactions, they throw curveballs, different legal systems, cultural nuances, language barriers, you name it.
It's like taking your M&A toolkit and adding a whole new set of tools for navigating those international waters.
Exactly. So think back to a time you faced a particularly challenging due diligence process, maybe a cross-border deal where you had to navigate different regulations, or managing experts across time zones.
Yeah, experiences like that show you can think on your feet, adapt to unfamiliar situations, find creative solutions.
And remember, cultural sensitivity is huge in international deals. Did you adjust your communication style to build trust with someone from another culture? Or adapt your negotiation strategy because of different business etiquette? These are valuable insights to share.
It shows you're not just a numbers person, you're aware of the human element, the importance of building those relationships. Speaking of which, let's move on to a question about time management, something crucial in any demanding role. How do you manage and prioritize competing demands on your time?
Oh, yes. M&A analysts are juggling multiple projects, deadlines, shifting priorities. It's a constant game of Tetris,
I
really.
love that analogy. So how do you suggest approaching this question?
Focus on your organizational skills, delegating effectively, and your commitment to deadlines. Do you use project management software? Do you prioritize based on urgency and importance? Have a system for tracking progress and making sure nothing slips through the cracks.
It's about proving you have a system for staying organized and on top of your time. Right. But it's not just about working in isolation. You also need to communicate clearly, set realistic expectations.
Right. If a deadline changes, how do you communicate that? How do you make sure everyone's on the same page, working together?
And those soft skills come in again.
Mhm.
Communication, collaboration, leadership.
Now, let's talk about something that can give you a real edge. Continuing education. The CFA and CPA are great, but don't underestimate other credentials, like a master's in finance or an MBA.
It's like leveling up your skills and knowledge, opening doors to new opportunities, giving you a competitive advantage.
Exactly. Continuing education shows you're dedicated to professional development, always expanding your knowledge base. If you're working towards a certification, mention it. It proves you're invested in your career growth.
And it's not just formal education, right?
Yeah.
Conferences, webinars, even reading books and articles on relevant topics.
Right. It all adds up. It's about showing you're a lifelong learner, passionate about the field, and staying at the forefront.
Okay, back to the interview questions. This one's a bit more philosophical. What are your long-term career goals? They want to see where you fit in the grand scheme of things. Do you picture yourself climbing the ladder, specializing, maybe even starting your own firm one day?
This is your chance to articulate those aspirations, show you've thought about your career trajectory, be honest and authentic. They want to see ambition, but also that your goals align with their culture and vision.
Finding that sweet spot where your dreams meet their opportunities.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to mention your willingness to learn and grow. The M&A world never stands still, so being adaptable and open to new challenges is a huge plus.
It shows you're not just after any job. You're looking for a path where you can learn, grow, and make a real contribution.
Now, let's wrap up with a question that really tests your decision-making. Tell me about a time you had to make a difficult decision with limited information.
This is classic, right? They want to assess your analytical skills, risk tolerance, how you make judgments under pressure. Like they're asking, can you handle the heat when things get tough?
Exactly. So think of a time you faced a challenge with incomplete data. Maybe a decision on an investment, a new product, a strategic partnership. How did you gather information? What factors did you weigh? How did you balance those potential risks and rewards?
Walk them through your process, highlighting how you think strategically, analyze information, make informed decisions.
And don't forget the outcome. Did your decision lead to a positive result? What did you learn from the experience? Sharing those insights shows you can not only make tough calls, but you reflect and learn from both successes and mistakes.
It proves you're a continuous learner, always striving to improve those decision-making skills.
And hey, RoleCatcher's AI interview practice tool can be super helpful for these types of behavioral questions. You can record your answers, get feedback on delivery, content, all of it.
Like having a personal coach, helping you refine your game and boost your confidence. All right, so we've covered a ton of ground here, prepping for these M&A analyst interviews. Broken down tricky questions, sprinkled in some career tips, really tried to give you an edge. But before you head into that interview, let's talk about how to seal the deal. Make a lasting impression.
Yeah, like we've given you the playbook, now it's about those winning plays that really set you apart.
Exactly. And RoleCatcher, they really emphasize their AI tools, not just for finding jobs, but for presenting yourself. Their AI-powered resume builder, it analyzes job descriptions, suggests keywords, voices that align with the role.
Think of it as your personal branding expert, crafting a resume that speaks directly to what the hiring manager wants.
It's like having a secret weapon to help you stand out from that stack of resumes and land the interview. And once you're there, their AI interview practice tool can help you refine your answers, boost your confidence.
Right. Imagine recording yourself answering those common questions and getting instant feedback. On your delivery, the content, even your body language. It's like having a coach right there with you.
It's all about maximizing your chances, using the tech that's out there. But beyond the tools and techniques, remember, interviews are about human connection. You need to showcase your skills, yes, but also let your personality shine through. Show your passion for this field.
Enthusiasm is contagious. If you can convey that genuine excitement for M&A, it makes you memorable.
So don't be afraid to share what excites you, what trends you're following, any deals you found particularly interesting.
And remember, interviews go both ways. Asking thoughtful questions at the end not only shows you're engaged, but it also gives you valuable information to decide if this is the right fit for you.
You're interviewing them just as much as they're interviewing you, right? So come prepared with insightful questions. Show you've done your homework on the company, the industry, the role.
Maybe you're curious about their approach to post-merger integration, or you have a question about a recent deal they did. Whatever it is, make sure it's thoughtful, relevant, and don't be afraid to have a real conversation.
It's about finding that right fit. And finally, never underestimate the power of a follow-up thank you note.
Such a simple gesture, but it goes a long way. Reinforces your interest, shows you're professional and courteous.
It's like the final touch, completing the masterpiece, leaving that positive, lasting impression.
So as you head into that interview, remember, showcase your skills, your passion, your personality, use the resources, practice your answers, let that enthusiasm shine through.
You've got this, and RoleCatcher's there every step of the way, helping you find the right opportunities, ace the interviews, and ultimately land that dream job.
Good luck.